we're going to be ceramic coating 4 different vehicles in 4 days straight. If you know a little bit about ceramic coatings, you would know that this might pose quite a challenge because of different vehicle conditions, sizes, and types. We're going to try to get them done 4 days back to back to back to back. Well, maybe I'm lying just a little bit because one of the vehicles actually canceled, getting us 1 day gap. So technically this is 4 ceramic coatings in 5 days. But the YouTube algorithm does not need to know that, only you. So sit back, relax, and enjoy this video that took a week to produce, and come in and see what it's like a day in the life of the business owner of myself. Let's get to work. So day number 1 begins. We are out here at shop number 2. If you guys don't know shop number 2, let me give you a quick rundown. This is a second location, not of Top Gloss, but of a Top Gloss contract. So we travel up a little north from our original headquarters to do some jobs up here in shop number 2. But this shop's pretty cool. It is owned by a motorsport group. So not only do they offer detailing and everything that we can do, but they have a race team, so you see some pretty cool cars and stuff going on in the background. I managed to film a couple of things as well. So yeah guys, welcome to what I will be referencing shop number 2. Alright, enough of the tour for now. We're going to get started getting to work here. First car we have this morning is this Buick Regal Tour X. Now, I don't know how many of you guys have actually seen these on the roads here in the States. I know they're pretty popular in like Europe and everything, but I've never really actually seen one. I've seen a couple in my life, but I've never actually gotten to work on one or be up close to one. I know they're not like super rare, but they're rare in the case that you just don't see them. So we're going to be doing this one first. It is getting a 2-step paint correction add-on as well as a 1-year coating. So we're going to be starting off day 1 with a 1-year coating process. Let's get started. So every coating process genuinely starts out the same way. We're going to get it pulled into the wash bay and start blasting off any of the surface grime in the wheel arches, kind of dust it off the paint, spray down the wheels, and get it ready for some chemicals. We're going to be starting with cleaning the wheels. We're going to grab some wheel cleaner and start spraying chemical on the tire, the wheel barrels, the wheel spokes, and the lug nuts. And we're going to start doing one wheel at a time until all are finished. Alright, and after all the wheels are finished, we're going to go ahead and foam it down. This first go around, we're just going to let it dwell and kind of drip off the car. Then foam it again, then mitt it down, spray it off, hit it with some iron remover, and then let that dwell, break up all the iron particles. And then we're going to hit it with foam yet again. This time for the clay bar treatment on every panel. And then we're going to spray it off, dry it, and get it ready to pull into our bay. Pulling into our ceramic coating bay, we've got some good lights in here. We're going to be parking next to this Hennessy GT500, which I thought was pretty cool. Hey, speaking of cool, check out this Cricket that we found. Alright, next up we're going to take our air hose and our air line and kind of blast off all of the cracks, crevices, all the wheels, air dry it so that way no water spots are going to burn into the clear over time, so we have a nice fresh surface to polish on, and that way the water's not going to be impeding with our polishing process, because if you mix water with polishing compound, it turns into a concrete like substance, and it is such a pain in the ass to get off the vehicle. In the meantime, we're going to be running our sunlight over all the paint and seeing what we have to work with. This one has a lot of swirls in it, so it is indeed going to need a 2-step, which means we're going to be cutting the paint with a cut compound in a abrasive pad, and then we're going to go back over it with a fine finishing compound and a soft foam pad. Tape up the plastic trim so that way the polisher does not burn through it and discolor it. We will start the heavy cut process on the hood. The hood's the best place to start because of all the lighting you get, all the benefits, so you can see just what you're doing and how much you're really taking out. Alright, let's wipe the surface and see what we got. So just a reminder, this is only after the first step, the heavy cut step. There's still going to be a DA haze in the paint. We're going to have to finish it out later, but this is the before and after of what the Heavy Cut did. Now we're going to start our second step of the paint correction process on the hood. This is our fine finishing, fine swirl remover, and we're going to use this foam pad on the hood and go over the whole thing to see what our finished product would theoretically look like before coating. Here is our finished product after the two-step. Now, it's important to keep in mind that the defects in the paint, there's really nothing to do about it with a simple paint correction. That's just how the cars age, and there's nothing you can do without a complete wet sand and possibly repaint, but overall, pretty happy with the results. Well, now is arguably the most boring part of this whole process. We have to do that to the entire car, every painted surface, head to toe. So enjoy. Now that we've done that to every panel, we're going to inspect it, and then if everything looks good, we're going to start the panel prep process. So this is a alcohol-based solution that cuts all the wax and grease we just had on the car with all of our compounds, and it's going to get it ready for the coating. The chemical makeup of the coating will not adhere properly to the clear if there's a bunch of wax and grease and anything in its way, so it's important that we prep every panel accordingly and get it cut and ready for the ceramic coating to be applied. So the ceramic coating of choice for this one is our 1 year, the original ceramic by Fine Lab. This is a 1 year rated product. So the coating process itself is pretty simple. It is a flash base, so you would dump the coating on a microfiber applicator, go panel by panel, wait for the product to flash, and then level it off with 3 to 6 towels. Now, what could bite people is high spots and shadows. That is where the experience comes in with the coating. If you have too many high spots, you got to buff it down, redo it. If you have too many shadows, you got to buff it down, redo it. So after we are finished, we're going to pull it outside into the natural daylight. I know there's not a lot of sun, but it helps to be outside in a kind of natural light setting so you can spot any of the high spots or shadows, because it's important that you fix them before the 24-hour cure on the coating. Now, I'm not going to sit and fool you. I did have a couple high spots on this car. It's inevitable. You got to know what you're doing to fix them. It's just one of those things. But that's going to be a wrap for day one. 1 car down, 3 more to go. Rise and grind, everyone. Welcome back. Day number 2 here at Shop 2. Who needs breakfast when you're greeted with a red Lamborghini Huracan Performante, well over 1,000 horsepower on race gas? This thing is insane. I did, however, in fact, do a ceramic coating on this one. This was a while back, and I didn't get a chance to actually record it for YouTube, but here's a couple clips I recorded for TikTok. But today our focus is set on our new project. This will be a 3-year coating on this Ford F450 utility bed work truck. Fortunately enough for us though, we will only be doing the paint correction to the cab of the truck and a lighter coating on the utility bed portion. So going to be kind of a cut down version of what a full-size truck would be, but nonetheless, this thing is massive and it's still going to take quite a bit of time to complete. Since I already explained to you kind of the process play by play when we did the Buick Regal Tour X, this time I'm going to really stop talking and just kind of let it play out. I will pop in here and there if something pops up, but I'm not going to bore you with the repetitiveness of what my job consists of, so enjoy the little montage and we will be back when needed. Well, surprise, I lied again. I will be popping in here real quick to tell you whenever we do the iron remover process, the iron fallout, decontamination process, you couldn't really see it on the Buick because of the black color of the paint. However, on white colored vehicles, you can see it do its work, and I will showcase it for you just what happens when you use iron fallout on a white vehicle. All of the purple specks you see on the paint are what happens when the iron fallout chemical properties, they lift up the iron deposits on the paint, making them pretty much dissolving them, and that way whenever you go to run the polisher or the buffer over the paint, you're not picking up those iron contaminants and scratching the paint even more. Most detailers will refer to this as bleeding paint, so if you ever hear that, this is what they're talking about. So white paint is kind of a double-edged sword. Yes, it's harder for the naked eye and the average customer to see any defects in it. However, for the detailer with the sunlight and the trained eye, it's very, very hard to see what you're doing when you're polishing and buffing and coating. So double-edged sword. And this is why I don't get anything done at Shop 2, because Landon decides to talk to me for 10 hours. I'm just playing. Alright, now time for the coating. This one is Ceramic Ultra V2. This is a 5-year ceramic coating. So the obvious difference between this and like the 1 year we did yesterday was obviously the year difference, the duration of the coating, but the way you apply and level off the coating is a little bit different. This one, you kind of have to go panel to panel because it is a 4-minute flash time. So you don't want to bite off more than you can chew, because when this particular coating high spots or shadows, you have to start completely over. So on the metal boxes on the utility bed, we're actually using the Fine Lab spray coating. Just because the actual 5-year coating would not adhere properly to the metal boxes, causing them to have kind of like a hazy rainbow effect 24/7, and we don't want that. And we are finished. As you can probably notice, the sun is long gone. This took a great part of the day to get this done. These 5-year coatings are no joke compared to the 1 year that we seem to zip right through, but this thing turned out phenomenal. The white pops so good. The utility bed is popping, the wheels, the polished aluminum is popping, the windows are freshly window tinted and coated. This thing is a really, really good looking truck. But that's going to be a wrap for day number 2. I'm exhausted. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Alright, good morning guys. Welcome to day 3. We are up bright and early. We are making a quick pit stop at the old Smoothie King. I'm in a little dilemma lately with breakfast and on-the-go breakfast, because since the new year I quit fast food. So breakfast has been a little challenged with not spending a lot of time at home. So I know this isn't like super good for you, but it's better than McDonald's, right? Right? Hey, at least on the bright side, it is 19 degrees, and it's not going to get much warmer today, unfortunately, but hey, what do you know? Guys, Shop 2 has been insanely busy, well, steadily busy at least, for the last, I don't know, this last week. So We've actually been here more than OG shop, I should say. I'll start naming them 1 and 2, I guess. But we've been here at shop 2 lately, for sure. More than shop 1. I haven't even been to shop 1 all week. Yeah, Smoothie King, dude. I've been on a kick lately. It's really good. I don't know if it's good for you. I highly doubt it with anything these days, but it beats a greasy McDonald's burrito or a breakfast sandwich. And hey, that's all my New Year's resolution is let's not eat fast food, McDonald's, and like stuff like that. So, all right, well, enough with the jibber jab. We have a busy day. Alrighty, guys, here is today's project. This is a brand new Silverado 2500 Z71 Trail Boss. You can name all of the trim, goes on forever. This is a pretty new truck, so the paint's in great shape. So this one should not take as long as the others, and this one will be getting a 3-year coating. So day 1 we did a 1 year, day 2 we did a 5 year, day 3 now we will be doing the 3 year. So I'll kind of explain the differences between all 3, but this one should be a pretty quick job. And just got to say, love the weave in there in the headlight, and this is such a beautiful truck. I can't wait to get started. The wash process is now finished, so we're going to start the polishing process now. So with this being a newer truck, metallic flake, silver in color, again, so hard to see, but thankfully the new truck, there's not a lot of defects, so we should be able to move through this one pretty quick. So while we finish the prep part of this job, I'm going to talk a little bit about the differences between the 1-year coating, the 3-year coating, and the 5-year coating that we've been doing this week. Obviously, the 1-year coating is the introduction, entry-level coating that takes like 15 minutes to flash, high flash times. You can pretty much do half the car to the whole car at a time, and you probably won't run into any issues if you're experienced. The 3-year coating has a higher experience level, a lower flash time, so it will take 7 minutes to flash. So the 3-year, you can probably, if you're experienced, get away with doing 2 panels to 3 panels at a time, like myself, and not run into any issues. The 5-year coating is the one that you really want to do 1 panel at a time, no matter what, because of a 4-minute flash time. It's very, very easy to get high spots and shadows with the 3 and the 5-year. The 3-year being a little easier to fix. The 5-year is the monster. But the moral of the story is you still need to know what you're doing when you get into these level of coatings. In addition to getting the paint coated, this truck is also going to be receiving a wheel coating, wheel and caliper, but we're only going to be doing the wheels. Now, when doing the wheel coating, it is overall the same principle as the paint. You apply it, you wait for it to flash, and you level it off. However, the wheel and caliper coating is not for the faint of heart, especially on black wheels, because these shadow and high spot the worst out of any other coating, no matter what, hands down. So you really have to be extra meticulous and extra detail oriented whenever you're coating black wheels, because the last thing you want to do is have to buff wheels with a 1-inch polisher on your hands and knees for a day straight. Now that all of the wheels have been coated, it's time to move on to the window coating. This coating is interesting because it gets applied and it gets left to flash for 30 minutes. Look at how hazy the glass gets. Now, this is completely normal, by the way, but this would scare a novice away in a heartbeat. But just like all of our other coatings, it follows the rules. So after the 30 minutes is up, we're going to start buffing this off. Now, the difference between this and the paint is this takes a long time to buff off because the glass streaks so easily. Well, after a quick quality check, this thing is finally finished. This one took the least amount of time of all of the ones we've done so far, but for good reason, because this is a brand new truck, even though it got wheels and windows coated added on. Nonetheless, this customer should be very happy with his beautiful spec Silverado now coated and looking its best. But hey, you've made it to day 3, and it's nighttime, and that's going to be a wrap. Catch you tomorrow. Like always, we are greeted with an insane sight to see here at Shop 2. We're actually getting the guys helped loaded on the trailer. They're heading out to Bradenton, Florida, down to Cletus McFarland's track to race at an event. But we are stuck here. We are stuck here with a different blue, this blue being on this Buick Envision. Now, we're treated here final day, day 4, with this one because this one has 600 loan miles on it. It is quite literally brand new, as close to new as you can get without ripping it from the dealership floor. Just like the Silverado we did last night, this one is also going to be receiving a 3-year ceramic coating, so the time we're going to spend on this one shouldn't be bad at all. But enough jibber jabber, you know the deal. Let's get to work. All right, just like that, we are just about ready to start ceramic coating this one. The paint on this was a breeze. Like I said, 600 miles on it. Quick one step and it's back to blue and beautiful as ever. All right, here it is, our 3-year V3 ceramic coating. Let's get started. I'm going to zoom in here real quick and show you the time lapse of what a flashing coating looks like in real time. Don't know if you guys are able to spot that, but on the lower part of the bumper, you could see it really good where it rainbows, and that is what flashing is. All right, so we're near complete, and this thing is a wrap. This turned out amazing. Just pretty much anyone would speculate a brand new car would turn out. The blue metallic looks crazy good under the sunlight, so we'll take it. We spent like an hour or so in low light checking over for high spots and shadows. This thing is good to go. The customer should be super happy with it, and it turned out phenomenal. Well, all right, guys, we did it. That is the end of day number 4, and that is the end of this series. This 4 cars in 4 days series was awesome. I mean, I know it's just work for me, but it was fun to pick up the camera and record everything. And being in a race shop like this was cool, being with all the surroundings that we have here. And all the cars turned out phenomenal. All the customers were happy. And yeah. So if you've stuck this far in the video, I just want to say thank you guys so much for the support. And I will catch you guys in the next video.